This book I'm going to be talking about today, I'm really excited about. It's called Growing Up, and it's a nonfiction book about growing up. It covers the things like what happens to our bodies during puberty and what it means to be a teen and all the changes that we're experiencing, the hormones, the science, and it's by Mayim Bialik, who you may know from The Big Bang Theory or Blossom. For those of you who don't know, Mayim is actually a neuroscientist. She is Dr. Mayim Bialik. The thing I really love about this book, aside from the fact that it totally matches my shirt, it's like Instagram, Bookstagram, is that this book asks readers a lot of questions. It asks you to look for the triggers of your stress. It asks you to look for your passions. It asks you about what you want to be when you grow up and explains how to ask those questions of yourself in a non-scary way. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. We're actually going to bring in Mayim today to talk a little bit about her book. I'm so excited, and I hope you guys are too. Hi Mayim, thanks so much for joining us today. I'm so grateful that you let me ask you a few questions. Where are you joining us from today?
Hi Alexis, I am joining you from Los Angeles, California, where I live and work. I'm currently in my son's bedroom.
Awesome. Thanks so much again. So let's just dive right in. I know you've written some other books on family and wellness, and you founded Grok Nation, but I think my first question for you would be, why write this for young women? Why growing up? What inspired you to write this book?
Well, the notion of the female experience and growing up female is something that obviously has interested me my whole life as I was a girl growing up. And now that I'm a public person and also have a PhD in neuroscience, I've been approached by a lot of editor and publishing companies to do a book on science for girls. But I never really knew how I would make that work until Jill Santopolo at Penguin reached out to me and said that she had read some of my writing on Grok Nation about what it's like to play a late bloomer on The Big Bang Theory. And she said that the voice that I use to talk about how hard it is to be a late bloomer is one that she was interested in. So I basically wrote a book from my personal experience as kind of a late bloomer and my experience as a scientist to explore all aspects of being female and growing up female. In terms of why now, there's a lot more books and information out there for young women, but there really isn't a book like this. So I really felt like there's a need to have a book that addresses everything from puberty to how we grow and how we learn what dating and sex means for this generation and how to make an impact in the world and in your community. So I wanted to put those all in one book, and that's what Growing Up is.
I love that.
Thank you.
I want to confess that I actually learned a lot reading this book, even though I'm a grown-up, and I really would have loved to have this book growing up, and I was just wondering if, as you were writing it, you learned anything you didn't know before or had any epiphanies throughout the process.
It's a great question. There were a lot of little things along the way that I hadn't known exactly about. So one of the things I wanted to do was bring in, for example, perspectives from other cultures. So in the chapter on dating and on beauty, I wanted to try and bring in information from other cultural experiences so that we can sort of understand that a lot of what we experience is just what our culture experiences. It's not a universal set of things that we think are true. One of the things I think the biggest epiphany I had was when I was writing the afterword, finished the book and I was writing kind of the sum up. And I realized that even though all of the chapters could have been a book in and of themselves, the reason that I wrote this book really came to me in a flash in the afterword. Women and girls are all of these things. We are how we become female, to what we eat, to how we learn, to how we cope with difficult things, and how we make an impact in the world. We are all of those things. And much as I appreciate that there are books that address each of those things, I'm really grateful that Penguin gave me the opportunity to write such a comprehensive book, because that's really what it felt like. We need this all in one place because we're all of these things.
That's amazing. Thanks so much for taking the time today, Mayim. I so enjoyed asking you these questions, and thanks again for taking the time to write this amazing guide to growing up.
Thank you.